that were killed at the hands of my son. And I don't know if anybody knows what that feels like, but it's fucked up, okay? And to hear your child, no, I didn't raise him, but damn it, he was given a great life by these people that did everything for him. And to hear your child say some of the things that he said to me, you know, I can't ever take it back. I can't forget it. It really has fucked me up. And that's sugarcoating it, because I promise you, there's so many details to it and the severity of it that it's sickening. And that's sad for me to say, because that's my son. And I love my son. You don't even know. I didn't want to give him up for adoption, but at the end of the day, I realized as I grew that it was the best choice, because I couldn't keep my ass out of trouble. So, you know, I hate to see people say, oh, he's just trying to profit off his son. Think about what you're saying. Think about like these two kids, Diane's children. I don't know if they're on here looking at this shit, but they know what happened to their mom. Imagine your mom leaves one day and you never see her again. That's fucked up. I was
telling people that too. That impact statement was, I mean, my heart hurt for that boy. Like, and then like, you know, just to be the devil, like, you know, we all watched your son, and just the lack of remorse of hearing somebody like that. I feel like that was where I was triggered, because I'm like, hey, how do you? So it just made me feel like, ugh. But like at the same time, I applaud you. You saved somebody, like, and not too many parents are going to be able to do what you did. Okay, most parents are going to try to help their child, and then you have all that on your conscience, right, and on your hands. If you already said, and I've watched multiple things where you have stated, like he even said that if he were to have gotten away or been able to get out, he would have hurt somebody else. So you who knows how many people you saved just by getting him locked up, and how hard of a situation that must have been. Gut-wrenching. And then you guys had to have those conversations, right? How uncomfortable was that first conversation when he knew that you were the one that set him up, and you have to talk to somebody that you genuinely love because he's your son, and just say, this is the right thing for you?
See, that's where people get it twisted, though. All these people online, and listen, I'm the stupidest son of a bitch when it comes to technology. If I can't do it on my phone, I can't do it. I can't even turn a computer on. So think about all these people that have whatever theories, and that's fine. I respect your shit as long as you don't lie and like bring in people that didn't ask for this. Don't bring them into this shit, right? Find that jail visit. Go ahead. It should be public record. Find it. And when you find it, I want you to post that shit everywhere, because you'll hear my son say to me, Dad, I'm not mad at you. I know you did what was right, and you know me so well, because you're right, Dad. I would have done it again. So
yeah, I actually heard that one. So you're right. That's actual information.
Fuck being coerced and all this shit. You know, first of all, with your story, now you're jeopardizing people's businesses, okay? And claiming things are this and that and all this. Come on, man. That's not fair. And do you really think if any of that shit was true, by now, it's been 5 years, they would have already busted that shit up. They would have done whatever they had to do to stop whatever was going on. So to me, it's common sense thinking. Get the damn visit from the jail, and then that will shut everything down. And I don't like saying that. I don't like talking bad about my son. He's my son. But the problem is, I know my son is fucked up. I know he's fucked up.
He's an addict. He needs help.
It's sad. Yeah, it's sad. And you know, I don't know what else to say.
Now, is it harder for you now, because you guys haven't been communicating, right? That's what the last person came on.
I'm almost positive. I don't want to say 100% sure, but I think that last phone call where we got into it, I think that was the last time we talked. Maybe one other call, but I don't think so.
And how long ago was that?
That was, I don't even know the date on that. It was shortly after he
years
was
ago,
arrested.
or like more recent?
Oh no, that was 2019. That was a couple days.
That was like, okay, so that was still way back in 2019. See, because now they're starting to release all those things, all the jail calls. So all those are now starting to come forward. So now it appears like they're new, but there's no timestamp. And that's why I'm like trying to decipher. And that's why it's awesome to get somebody like you that has firsthand knowledge and is actually able to speak the truth. When I tell you that we support you, Steve, like nothing, I'm a mom and I couldn't imagine being in that situation that you have. And I hope nobody has to be in that situation to make that sort of decision. He came to you and he went to you right with it. And you were like, at first, of course, not believing them because you're used to that kind of, how Wade is and not believing too much. And obviously he tells some far-fetched stories. So you're like, yeah, right. And then finally it clicks and you're like, wait a second, this is like a little crazy. Now, how, like you said, he said it multiple times, right? There was multiple times, then finally it clicked for you?
Said what multiple times?
Like,
what
like
he
when
did?
he admitted, when he had called you and said what he and explained in detail how he hurt those women. I saw one interview where you said in the very beginning that he
I'm not gonna hold you there.
I'm sorry. That you said in the very beginning that he God, I lost my train of thought because he was bringing me food.
Listen, I know what you're saying. You don't have to.
Yeah, like when he admitted it, right?
I got you.
You were like, I don't believe.
So, listen. Yeah, I've said everything I've said. That's the damn truth. 100%. The detail. I was on the phone with my son. Called me at 10. The U.S. Marshals got there like 11:45 or whatever it was. We were on the phone and during that whole time, but that phone call, yeah, he told me everything. He told me everything he did. That was the phone call that he broke it all down to me. And initially I wanted to help him until I heard like the severity of it and what really happened because he told me the truth. So listen, I don't want to do that. This is not my thing, right?
Yeah,
I don't
hey,
want to
listen,
go back and
I
forth.
applaud you for coming on here because this isn't your thing, but I do want to tell you though, Wade, that when I tell you that you do have a lot of support, I know that you're fairly new to it, but there is a lot of people that are rallying behind what you did. So as much as it's painful to hear, there's a lot more people that are just applauding at you saving others because you did. As much as you did.
Let me just say this. When my son is sober, he's a good kid, man. Funny as hell, spontaneous, just a good kid. But unfortunately, he is that. I'm sure we all know somebody like that. He is that person that when he does meth, it completely changes him. He used to call me 4 o'clock in the morning, Dad, they're outside my hotel room. They're surrounding me because he's wigging out. When I tell
that's
you,
what that drug does.
I can't even describe the amount of paranoia, the amount of just fear that overcomes him. It's the fucking meth. It's the devil to him 100%. But I just want to say, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. I didn't want to do that shit. Why would I ever want to be in the position to have to make a decision of my son who I finally reconnected with and have wanted that for years and years and years? All I wanted was my son. But unfortunately, he had a habit. He was a criminal. He wasn't making good choices. So for me, I had to get him help. I had to put him in treatment. I had to you wouldn't imagine the money I spent, okay? Because he's my son and I love him and I want him to do right. But unfortunately, I put him in a facility. He went willingly. He didn't stay and he took off. He took off. And I think, ending up in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, whatever. It was, he's not familiar with the area. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He was getting high. He was around people he didn't know. And he was spiraling. And, I don't beat on women. I don't abuse women. I don't do any of that. So for me, it's been so hard, like genetics. Damn, where did that come from? I don't understand it. But it is what it is. You know, he's has some problems, and that makes me sad as his father. But I love my son. I'm sad that his shit turned out this way because he had so much potential. You know, he was, like I said, funny, good, charming. You know, he had so much potential and he could do so much in his life, but he just couldn't straighten out. And to me, that's devastating. And I want to say one more thing. Lockdown 23-1. Me and this dude, Josh, have messaged for years. And he said, you know, if there's ever a time that you want to talk, I'm here for you. And I respect him because he's always had my back as a father who had to make a fucked up choice. He didn't pay me a fucking thing. I wouldn't take $1 over this. This is madness. This is sad. It's a tragedy. So I respect him. I respect him always having my back. And that's why I felt comfortable having a conversation with him. Because, you know, this shit makes me nervous. My nerves are bad. I'm stressed out all the time. You know, I'm sad. I don't know how to deal with this shit. But, you know, all these theories and all this madness, it's got to stop because people's families are watching this shit and they lost people that they'll never fucking get back. And that is fucked up. So, you know,
I feel like the hard part is because, you know, he's got the life, he's been sentenced life or death on the 27th. So now because of that, I think there's just more publicity for it. And then that whole part of the attraction, you know, that became like a whole thing too. So it's just like, now I have a question. Are you going to go with, to be at the court for that or no?
No, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be there for that. I don't want to listen.
Are you there for the grandkids at least? Are you going to see his kids?
Yeah, I'm in communication. I'm in communication awesome. With.
At least you got you got the good pieces of him, you know?
Yeah, those kids are beautiful. And both of those kids are my grandkids. That's how I feel. I don't give a shit about DNA. They're both my grandkids, and I love them both. And their mother is doing a bang-up job keeping them kids safe and sheltering them the best she can. So, you know, it is what it is. She's doing the best she can do. The kids don't deserve to be posted online. They have to go to school. You know, people think before you do shit. You have to think a little bit. People are crazy in this world. So, you know, listen, I appreciate you giving me a minute. And really, the only reason I came on here was for all the stupid ass people saying that's not his dad. Whatever. I just can't stand people that are so dumb that they just have zero common sense. So I appreciate you throwing me on here.
Listen, we appreciate you. You made it like, we definitely have been excited because some of us, not because this is a tragedy all the way around, but to have, it never happens that way. I don't know if you watch any true crime or anything, but there's so many parents that actually enable their child and then they go out and hurt others. And it's like, hey, sometimes you have to do the right thing, whether even in your mind, if it's not. So listen, we stand behind you. You keep being you. We're like, as soon as I heard your voice, I knew it was you because I definitely have heard it so many times and never once has anybody that with any common sense would think anything badly about what I couldn't imagine. I'm sure every day is a daily battle for you. Like you.
Can I say one more thing that bothers me?
Anything you want to say? You go right. No, listen. You have go ahead. You speak right on.
I've heard something that I guess I spoke a little bit, maybe sideways. I don't know, but what I meant by me saying my two boys that I raised, I know they would never do that. And I didn't mean because I've taught them discipline and respect and treat women, like queens, right? So what I meant by that was I didn't raise Wade, okay? The signs that I would have seen in Wade, if I raised him, I would have understood them better because I've been there. I've done that. And that's not a knock on his, I don't even say adoptive parents. They're his parents. They raised him, okay? It's not a knock on them. It's just they haven't been to prison. They're not drug addicts. They haven't had a shitty life. So I'm going to pick up on those behaviors way before them. There was a situation where at one point he came home as a teenager and he was wigging out in the living room in the middle of the night. and they didn't understand. They just thought, oh my God, he's having, you know, a mental breakdown. No, it was fucking the meth. But they didn't grow up like that.
They're not used to that environment.
They haven't lived like that. So they didn't pick up on that. And that's what I meant by what I said, because I would have picked up on that. I live in freaking Polk County, Florida. Come on. Anybody from Florida knows about Polk County. So I would have picked up on that. But those people are great people. They busted their ass to give him a great life, and he made fucked up choices. That's just the reality.
I wanted to ask you a question about it because I saw someone when I was watching the trial. Have you guys, like, because it mixed with the drugs, right? Have you thought about the CTE portion? Because he did play sports, like head injuries mixed with narcotics.
Yeah. Listen, I get the angle. Whatever. I get the angle. I understand. How many fucking people play football every damn year, day, whatever?
Yeah, look at Aaron Hernandez. Same thing, right?
I've been in 2 motorcycle accidents. I played football. Listen, I get it. CTE is a real thing, but that's like consecutive head trauma, okay? So I understand the angle, and I respect it from his lawyers, but, I don't know what to say about that. I believe that people make choices.
Right.
And sometimes we make fucked up choices, and sometimes we have to pay for them. So,
now, do you still talk to the biological mother, or you guys aren't in contact?
No, we haven't spoken in years. Like I said, she's still dealing with her issues. She's never been the same since that, and she's still trying to get shit together and figure things out. But no, we have not spoken, and I just know what I've seen online. She just hasn't been able to get it together yet, but she'll get there.
See, we got 1,000 people listening to you talk right now. Everybody, the chat's going wild. This is definitely people have been waiting to hear you. And obviously, I don't make any money off of this. You're not making money off of this. I applaud you for being able to come out and speak on it. And I actually respect you. I love how you're just straightforward and blunt and honest and real. It's hard to find those qualities these days. So,
well, a lot of people listen to these phone calls, and then I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go. I know I've said it like 5 times, but
listen, listen. The platform's yours. You're bringing a whole crowd here. Look at them. They're giving. You see those gifts they're giving you? They're giving you gifts right now.
The problem is all these stupid ass people that are gonna, look at Wade's dad. He's profiting, and he just he's jealous of Wade. Blah blah. I mean, shut the fuck up. But so that's why I don't want to be on here, just for that main purpose. But
you're gonna get haters no matter where you go. You know how it is. It's those modern times now. So who cares what they say? You know the truth. You know your facts, and you know what you did. Who cares what these people say? That's what I say. Yeah. I get my mods, kick them out. I don't care. We don't care what they got to say.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and then I really am gonna go, because I've had a long day, and I wasn't intending for this. But these phone calls that people are hearing, Wade spoke to me freely on the phone because, like I said, nobody knows that I went down and visited him the day Diane's body was found for that purpose. That's why I went to see him, to try to help find this woman's body. So, all the phone calls after that where we're talking, and I know who I'm dealing with. I know where he's at, and he's still my son, and I want to help him, and I want to give him good advice, and I want to be there. And my point is saying, don't talk to the media. You haven't even gone to court yet. You haven't even been charged with this shit yet, and you're just blah, 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 blah. But he talked freely to me on the phone because he knew he didn't have anything to hide. I went and saw him the day before. He told me where she was at. He told me everything. He showed emotion for the first time ever when I told him Diane had 2 children. These kids are on the TV begging their mama to come home. I said, wait, we know she's not coming home. Do the right thing. And he did. He did it in visitation, and he, that night, did it with the detectives. That's where the confession comes from. Nobody coerced nobody. Get the video from the visit. And I knew what I was dealing with my son on the phone. I knew he was sober at that point. I knew he knew what he had done. And I was just trying to be there as a dad for him and give him good advice. You know, it's one thing to talk after a trial is done and the jury's done and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you're doing this beforehand. And I just feared that it wasn't going to go in his favor. You know, he's still my son. I don't know what I feel with that. You know, he's my son. I don't want my son fucking executed. I don't want my son to fucking kill 2 innocent people. I don't want my son to never see the beach again or go to the mountains again. I don't want that for him. But unfortunately, that's where we are. So, you know, I just talked to him and tried to soothe him and, you know, all that shit, the way he asked for money and this and this and that. That's how it was on the street. So that was nothing new to me. So, you know, my breaking point was when he got on TV and did all that shit, you know, it sent me over the edge, and I was trying to communicate with him, but I knew that he was in fight or flight mode. You know, he knew what he was facing, and he was just trying to save himself. You know, he doesn't want to spend the rest of his life in prison. So I think, you know, he was doing anything to try to save his life. But unfortunately, what he says and what the evidence say are 2 different things. And, you know, that I don't know what else to say. So I'm going to jump off of here.
Before you go, can I ask you one question? Because you're the only one that can confirm this with this. And I watched the trials too, and I couldn't find that. So when they located the second victim after, because obviously Wade told you where they were at, you weren't there when they found the body, right? You didn't see her, right?
No, I never saw her. I know.
I went down there.
I know when I came out of the jail visit, and I put $100 on his account, not 20, just for the record. But when I came out of the visit, my wife was sitting in the truck, and you know, she was watching the live coverage of where they had found Diane's body. You know, I don't know if it was previously found. I don't know if I know they were watching the visit, so I don't know if that was what did. I don't know. I didn't ask those questions, but no, I was never there where she was at, if that's what you meant.
Yeah, so, and then, like, a lot of things that he confessed to you, I was like, man, did he really, like, run her over or no? Like, because then, like, that's the part is everybody's like, oh, there was no DNA on the outside of the car. And I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I couldn't.
Let me just say this, and then I'm really going to go. Yes, he run her over, unfortunately. And they explained in the trial that they can only submit so many DNA samples. And then after that, I think they get charged or whatever per sample or whatever. They didn't need they had more samples than they ever needed. They used what they needed. So I can't answer why, but I know my son told me the truth, and I know he told me what he did. So I don't know. Other than that, I know what my son told me. So,
well, listen, I appreciate you being on here. We'll let you go, but hey, all I can say and leave with you is keep, you know, hopefully maybe he'll end up getting some sort of reformation. Doubtful, but like maybe he will at least get to a point where he can appreciate everything that you have done because it was for the best. And then you'll be able to have that, at least that, because he's going to, no matter what, he's incarcerated the rest of his one or the other, but more, you know, even if he gets a second trial, it's still going to be incarceration for life. You and I both know that. But I hope at least that because he's your kid, you know, you still have that, you did something that was difficult to do, but I'm still hoping that you at least have that connection at least down the road when he realizes. Hopefully, let's hope for better jail reformation. Probably not in Florida, but you know.
Well, I'll say this, and I'm doing it again. I'll say this: the problem is not the problem. It is what it is. I don't care what people spend their money on. If you want to send my son thousands of dollars, I don't give a shit. It doesn't affect me, you know, whatever. But I think. Right now, he's very comfortable, and I'm happy he's comfortable. You know, I don't want him to suffer. I mean, he's my son, but you know, he's taken care of. Is what it sounds like to me, and that's great. But you know, I don't know. I think the problem, what happens is a lot of people are initially attracted to him because he's a great looking man. like I said, he's funny, he's charming, he's sober right now, I hope. And it takes a little while, you know, and then they get sick of like, damn, all I'm doing is sending him shit. I'm sending him money, I'm sending him books. All he does is ask me for shit all the time. And then they slowly fall off. You know, that's just been the past. I don't know going forward. It seems like there's some pretty devoted wives, I guess is what they're called. And that's, hey, whatever. I don't judge nobody for what they choose to do. But, you know,
I'm hoping they do take that money though that he's getting on his books at least and donate it to the victims because you know.
Not only that, but yes, to the victims, but send your kids' mama some money because she's doing it by herself. I mean, she's married, but she's doing it. Okay. Send some money to your children. Let's see how much you love them. Send some money to
Amen, Steve.
Huh?
I said amen to that. Like literally.
That's all I have to say about that.
I hadn't even heard him talk about his kids.
So, all right, I'm going to jump off of here. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good night and stay safe. Stay away from crazy people.
Thank you for coming on the live, Steve. I appreciate it.
How do I get out of here?
I'll kick you out, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right.